unless Escalade's a tennis ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the character who's the tennis ball is Escalade.
Yeah.
And then you have...
Yeah.
I just love to see this. Well, I suppose you can see loads of rackets in the end, look.
Yeah.
Loads of
But the ball, but the tennis ball.
So the roundness of it is the comedy.
The funny thing, and the awkwardness of
you
know, you can imagine you could get somebody, you know, like Keita or whoever, me,
Gianni,
whoever.
Well, if you make the cardboard cutout,
dressed up as a great big thing.
A 2 metre diameter cardboard cutout, you can paint them all yellow.
Yeah, that's it with the white S on them and stuff, and a white body stocking underneath, and a bit of face makeup.
Just wear a t-shirt or whatever,
and then trying to kind of clamber over the net or whatever, and then falling over or bouncing off the net, or you know, it'd be, and then you know, and as you say, you sort of do, and that you could freeze frame it, and then you get a voiceover artist or whoever to go. Tennis doesn't need to be boring, difficult, monotonous. You know, the same thing happening over and over again. Because if you're playing the same match partner in your same club, you're not actually going to develop, or you're not. You know, you need to sort of raise your game. You know, and play other champions of other clubs or whatever. You know, so. But yeah, I just think the tennis ball as a character is pretty good. You know, and it'd be quite nice to make as well. Like sort of. You know, as a
because I think with something like that, I think that one would be good because we're not selling the ladder. We're actually selling the community.
Yeah.
And I think the ladder speaks for itself. But because I think I'm very confident in the ladder system.
Yeah.
I think that's got a lot of structure. So I feel that if we can then sort of with this video is actually create the fact that it's a community, which I think both me and Warren are very, very keen to build up. A number of users we want to target.
Yeah.
So let's say, so you got the complete beginner. Yeah. There's one.
Yeah.
Well, let's do health and fitness.
Yeah.
There's another one. We've got competitive one.
Yeah.
Social person who enjoys just drinking, maybe, and just wants to find tennis for a pint. Warren, help me out.
5 stories altogether.
Oh, it doesn't have to be 5.
What have you said already?
We've got
beginner, health and fitness, the social aspect, and competitive. Sort of,
what about shy?
Yeah.
Shy being one.
Yeah. Yeah. So meeting people. Yeah. And so what we're doing is looking at the sort of background stories, and that could be straight to camera stuff. About
situation straight to camera.
Yeah. So background stories of characters and why they need or they're using. No, why they need and what they.
No, I think it's what.
Got to identify their needs primarily. Make that explicit.
Needs, but then it's not the fact they find.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps they find it, but it's not. Yeah. I say find the right. I suppose find is maybe right. Well, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
But it's like then.
Each one has got to start using the.
It's then got to.
It's got and it.
But it's almost like if we could get the court and then we can have I don't know some sort of light shining on it and then they walk through it and it's almost like
Yeah.
I think that's we need to work on the sort of result. But
and result up here.
So it's basically we got
need and solution really, isn't it?
Basically,
And would you see it as say these 5 different characters? Would they all be, say, a tennis ball, or would one be a towel, one be a racket, one be a ball, one be a
net,
or one be, whatever, or
I don't know.
One could be the club.
But I think to be fair, I think if they're all tennis balls, then you could stylize the tennis balls and characterize just by putting a hat on it or a sweatband
or eyelashes,
and then instantly you get that.
Yeah.
Continuity.
And you can instantly tell. Cause it'd be great to have someone, doing
So social equals cool, basically.
You don't want to make sure you attract people who are a bit more serious and people who are saying that just dressing people up as tennis balls. I'm not sure I'd take you seriously.
It does. I don't agree. We don't. I'm not saying this is our only marketing direction, but I think this is, to me, is a very viable marketing ploy, very cost effective. If it works, then you can get a lot more coverage about
I see exactly where you're coming from,
about the brand.
But be careful with your branding.
Yeah.
Be very, very careful, because once you step in the mud's hard to wash off.
Yeah, I see what you're
Let's try
saying.
and work on this idea, and we'll see what we're coming up with. And see if it actually, whether we visualize it,
Because what I thought about the cartoony bit, the more explaining how it works, more likely to sell to fitness, sporty people.
Yeah, and it's quite diagrammatical, so if you want to, and you could have, say, you open with a shot of a tennis court and say, whatever, somebody dressed up as a tennis ball or whatever, scrambling over the net, and then you pause it, you freeze frame it, say, so that's 5 seconds worth of footage, say, and then you go to the diagrams, quite a fast pace.
Yeah, I don't know if I would mix the two. I think you're right.
You could imagine like I don't know, like whatever, Spike Jones or whatever, doing a kind of, a kind of music video or something like that. But then you've got to go from that into the service that you're offering with the site, haven't you? So, and also it's like, the message would have to be right as well. Because I was thinking about this whole thing about, tennis does, play, you don't need to play with yourself, or you don't, not to be sort of crass about it, but you don't need to play with yourself. It doesn't have to be monotonous, it doesn't have to be boring. You can meet people and all the rest of it. Whereas say something like that flash mob thing might actually look quite cool. So it's like all of a sudden it's like what you're sort of saying is, tennis doesn't have to be boring or whatever. It's like, hang on a minute, people might actually want to hang out with like-minded people doing like a life-size game of Pong. It just made me think about, because the real-time Space Invaders thing, like I say, when you've got people in different colours and different coloured t-shirts and that doing the Space Invaders thing in the theatre, and I don't know, it just made me think like that and all the rest of it. And you animate a tennis ball, with like a little, like a cup or something.
You could actually get a real tennis ball.
Yeah.
And then cut it in half.
Yeah.
Actually.
And then like cheap, in terms of budget, relatively low.
That works.
But and that could be like your that could be just to dip your toe in. And you talk to Paolo, because if he's so passionate about his thing, and he'll give you the material, and then you go to the club,
have to edit it forever.
I think his idea will be basically, somebody shooting off his tennis,
you'll get
shoes like.
You're absolutely right. We should get Paolo on video. We should get him in front of the camera.
And just as a kind of an
if you say the word
official.
tennis, you would get off camera.
Yeah.
Give it like 6
We get
hours.
45 minutes of him just
launch that to the
ad-libbing.
next Can Wars and we would win it.
Just have him kind of emoting and stuff, and
Oh, he's a true original. We need to get him in.
Yeah.
Basically, we set the sail. If the ball's offline, the umpire climbs off his chair and goes.
Well, the thing would be as well, when you serve in tennis, you can't put your foot across the line on the ground. So, for example, you just mind the gap and mind the line when the train comes in. If you could have Keita up in the chair, and as she spots someone, a member of the just general public, who's maybe got their foot across the line, she could climb out of their chair. We film her going down saying football and calling him back, and then climb up in the chair and writing down a note as a penalty point or something. But we're trying to think of situations where, in everyday life,
Basically more of them.
where an umpire can actually intervene with literally the general public can actually make a comment